Over millions of years, animals have adapted and evolved an arsenal of deadly weapons to hunt, defend, and attack. Teeth, claws, antlers, electricity, stings, camouflage, odor and poisons are all being used to devastating effect in the animal armory. The use of venom and poison to kill enemies or capture prey has been utilized by humans ever since we witnessed animals using it in the wild. Many animals are venomous, but few are as deadly as these. Although their rattles give ample warning to potential predators, the venom of the rattlesnake has proved invaluable in its search for food and protection. The stonefish is a master of disguise, but when threatened, it shoots out deadly spines from its back, ensuring its predator a painful death. More notably, the scorpion has been a symbol of terror for thousands of years, thanks to its whip-like tail that stabs its victim, delivering a lethal dose of venom. Another sea creature with an uncanny ability to camouflage itself is the blue-ringed octopus, whose bite causes paralysis and eventually death. Cane toads have been introduced to countries where they don't naturally occur. Thanks to their toxic skin, almost all potential predators will avoid them, allowing them to dominate vast areas of land. The funnel web spider latches onto its victim, biting multiple times with massive fangs and delivering venom that can kill an adult human in as little as 15 minutes. The Gila monsters possess a venom so powerful that cowboys would tell tales of their fatal bites. And fire ants, despite their size, possess a venom that when deployed from thousands of ants in a single colony, has the potential to kill almost any creature. Images of the most powerful deities worshipped by the Aztecs and Mayans were emblazoned with depictions of the rattlesnake, their vision serpent, who worked as a conduit between this world and the next. And the rattlesnake's connection with death is well deserved. Native to the Americas and ranging from British Columbia to Argentina are 42 known species of rattlesnake. Their size can range anywhere between 1 to 8 feet long. They live in a wide variety of habitats, but are mainly found near open, rocky plains, where they can bask in the sun, take cover from predators, and hunt prey. They favor small animals like birds, lizards, and rodents. Their Their name comes from their warning call, the loud shaking of the rattle at the end of their tail. Ground squirrels and king snakes, who are immune to their venom, pay no attention to the warning. But these snakes are famous for more than just their tail. Rattlers, as they are commonly known, are the leading cause of snakebite injuries in North America. Despite this, it's rare for a rattlesnake to bite unless provoked. When hunting, they can patiently wait for their prey or actively seek them out in various holes. Rather than using constriction like many other snakes, the rattlesnake will strike in half a second, injecting their prey with venom. Rattlesnakes deliver their venom through fangs connected to ducts, which in turn are connected to glands on the outer edge of the upper jaw near the back of the head. When biting, muscles around the glands contract, squeezing venom into the fangs. When not in use, the fangs are folded away against the palate. They are born with fully functioning fangs and venom, and most rattlesnakes can even control how much venom they inject. The venom destroys tissue and prevents blood from clotting. A bite from the rattlesnake can cause severe paralysis. The older the snake, the more venom it possesses. If bitten, the snake's prey doesn't immediately die and appears to escape. But it doesn't take long for the venom to act. Through scent, the rattlesnake can track its prey until it eventually dies. Using its tongue and prodding with its snout, the rattlesnake locates the head of its prey and consumes the creature whole. The digestive juices of the rattlesnake are very powerful, breaking down flesh, bone, feathers, and everything in between. If the prey is small, the snake will continue to hunt. But if large enough, it'll find somewhere warm and safe to rest while digesting, until it's time to hunt again. For millennia, the Australian Aborigines have told stories of the people who fell victim to the ocean's most venomous fish, the stonefish. Found throughout the coastal regions of the Indo-Pacific, they are extraordinarily dangerous and fatal to even humans. Their danger doesn't just come from their deadly venom, but their supreme camouflage. Stonefish are often brown or grey with patches of yellow, orange or red, and are easily mistaken for rocks or coral. On average, they grow up to 14 inches, but they have been documented to grow up to 20 inches. They can usually be found amongst rubble and coral, under rocks or ledges, and on the ocean's floor, while some prefer to bury themselves in the sand. Their camouflage allows them to be deadly ambush hunters, lying in wait for fish or crustaceans to swim by. Known as the world's most venomous fish, one may think the stonefish uses its venom to hunt, but this isn't true. Their true weapon is speed. High-speed cameras are needed to properly see their attacks. Their venom, however, is a defense mechanism. When preyed upon, the stonefish first rely on their camouflage. Failing that, it uses its venom. Each stonefish possesses 13 rigid dorsal fin spines, capable of injecting its venom. When disturbed or threatened, it will raise these spines to pierce the creatures threatening it. Their venom possesses both cardiovascular and neuromuscular toxicity. Often, the stonefish is the last meal for unsuspecting predators, or a painful reminder to people wading through the ocean. These deadly and elusive creatures wait patiently to use their lethal weapon, as and when they're required. Often referred to as ancient animals, scorpions have existed for over 400 million years, predating the dinosaurs. They have always struck terror in the hearts of people, thanks to their fearsome look and venomous sting. The scorpion is found all over the world, with almost 2,000 different species. Able to live in most environments, from deserts to jungles, scorpions can live to anywhere from 6 months to 25 years. They are arachnids, most closely related to spiders and ticks, and spend their days under rocks and in crevices. It's in the night, under the cover of darkness, that the scorpion hunts. They will hunt the same territory for their entire lives, but use a variety of methods to get their food. Most scorpions hunt insects and spiders using their venomous stinger. Some will wait by their burrow, claws open and stinger ready, hitting prey with a surprise attack as it passes by. Others actively forage for their prey. Due to their poor eyesight, scorpions use brush-like sensory structures on their legs to feel their way around. Being carnivores, their diet consists solely of the animals they catch. Using 2 large claws located at the front of their body, the scorpion grips its prey, allowing its metasoma, a tail-like structure containing the sharp stinger and venom glands, to strike the creature, injecting it with the venom and ultimately killing it. Thanks to their venom, the scorpion can eat undisturbed. All scorpions are venomous. They have multiple toxins in their venom, each with a different effect. Only a select few of the species have a venom that is potent enough to kill a human. Scorpions have tiny mouths, only capable of sucking up liquids. Once captured, enzymes in the venom dissolve their prey's insides, allowing the scorpion to eat it from the inside out. They don't eat often, only once every 2 to 3 weeks on average. Scorpion venom isn't used just to subdue prey, but also for protection. Predators like centipede, shrews, owls, bats, and coyote all prey on scorpions. But it's the meerkat and mongoose that are their biggest threat, as both animals are immune to the scorpion's venom. Other male scorpions are also a threat. When one finds its way into the territory of another, they may fight to the death, with the winner eating the loser. In addition to impeccable camouflage and a flexible body that can fit into the smallest of spaces, the fascinating blue-ringed octopuses possess venom that can kill. The blue-ringed octopus is one of the world's most venomous sea creatures and is commonly found off the coast of New South Wales, South Australia, and Western Australia. They have a lifespan of around 2 years. At around 1 to 4 inches in size and seemingly docile, at first glance they look innocuous as they go about hunting small crabs, shrimp, and fish. But when threatened or provoked, their body lights up with iridescent blue rings, contrasting against their normally yellowish skin. This is a warning that they are ready to attack, with a venom powerful enough to kill almost any enemy, including humans. Like other octopus species, all kinds of blue-ringed octopus make the most of their surroundings. They spend most of their time hiding in cracks and crevices, blending in seamlessly with their environment. This protects them from predators like moray eels, gropers, sharks, and snapper. From their hidden position, the blue-ringed octopus pounces on its prey, ensnaring it in its tentacles. The mouth of the blue-ringed octopus is a horn-like beak located at the center of where its tentacles meet. It uses it to pierce through the exoskeleton of crab and shrimp to release its venom into the prey, produced by bacteria in the salivary glands. The venom contains tetrodotoxin, a powerful neurotoxin that paralyzes muscles and organs while the victim is still conscious. It isn't long before all the organs are paralyzed and the creature is effectively killed. Blue-ringed octopuses carry enough venom to kill 26 adult people. And with no anti-venom currently available, it remains one of the deadliest inhabitants of the ocean. So far, we have witnessed 4 animals that use venom to hunt and defend themselves. The rattlesnake dominates the Americas with the toxic venom it delivers through its fangs, following a warning from its rattling tail. The stonefish are efficient ambush hunters whose venomous spines do nothing to help them find food, but protect them from would-be predators. The deadly scorpion, found all over the world, grabs its prey in its claws to strike it with a stinger on its tail to deliver its lethal venom. And the blue-ringed octopus, so called for its iridescent blue rings that flare up on its skin before it inflicts a venomous bite that can easily kill a human. These are only a few of the animals that use venom in their armoury. Originally from the Americas, then used as biological control for pests in the sugarcane fields of northern Australia, the cane toad has become a pest itself due to its rapid reproduction and a lack of predators. The cane toad is a large terrestrial toad native to South and Central America, but is now found throughout the Oceanic region, the Caribbean and Australia. Females are significantly bigger than the males of the species, with an average length of 4 to 6 inches and a life expectancy of 10 to 15 years in captivity. They are prolific breeders, with the females laying thousands of eggs at a time. Their penchant to breed have made them invasive pests in countries where they've been introduced, where they were intended to combat other pests, like the cane beetle. But it takes more than a voracious sexual appetite for these toads to reach plague proportions. Vision is the primary method by which cane toads detect their prey, but they also have a keen sense of smell. Cane toads will eat small rodents, reptiles, other amphibians, birds, and just about anything else they can fit in their mouth, including plants, dog food, and household rubbish. Thanks to their non-discriminatory diet, the toads thrive. The poison glands on their skin make them highly toxic, killing most animals that eat them, limiting the number of predators to keep the species in check. Cane toad skin is dry and warty, with ridges above the eyes that run down to the snout. They can be grey, yellowish, reddish-brown or olive in complexion, with different patterns. A large parotoid gland is situated behind each eye, with smaller ones across the back that produce the poison. Even cane-toed tadpoles are highly toxic if ingested. Their poison is the perfect defense. In its natural habitat, predators include wetland birds like ibis, eels, snakes, and bullet ants. They cannot avoid being preyed upon or eaten, but they can take their attacker down with them. The glands on their skin secrete a milky white fluid called bufotoxin that kills not just animals, but also humans if ingested. The toad's poison is so toxic, it has allowed it to dominate in a variety of landscapes, turning a solution into an even bigger problem. Striking fear into the heart of arachnophobes since its discovery. With an aggressive reputation and arguably the world's most toxic spider venom, the funnel web is a force to be reckoned with, both in the Australian bush and suburbs. Funnel web spiders are a subfamily of spiders with around 40 species that are all native to Australia. Funnel webs live mostly off a diet of insects, but occasionally hunt small reptiles and frogs. Many of these species produce venom which is lethal to humans and animals alike, the most potent of which belongs to the Sydney funnel web spider. Funnel webs range in size from ½ an inch to 2 inches in length, with a hairless carapace that covers the front of their body. They have long spinnerets off the back of the abdomen and possess large fangs that, unlike most other spiders, point down along the body, not towards each other, through which the venom is injected. Funnel web fangs are so powerful they can easily penetrate a fingernail or soft shoe. They make their burrows in moist, cool habitats, like under rocks, logs, or rough-barked trees. It's common to find them in suburban gardens containing rockeries and shrubs, but barely in the open. A funnel web's burrow contains irregular silk trip lines that protrude from the entrance. These trip lines signal to the spider when prey is nearby, so they can rush from their burrow and ambush their unsuspecting victim. females are much larger than the males, but the males have longer fangs. Adult males wander during the warmer seasons to look for females to mate with. They are attracted to water, often falling into swimming pools, and they can survive underwater for several hours thanks to the air bubbles that attach themselves to their bodies. They aren't normally aggressive, but if threatened, the funnel-web spider will ferociously defend itself, rearing back, raising its front legs in the air and baring its fangs before striking. Some venomous spiders don't always inject venom when they bite. However, it's very rare for this spider not to inject venom when it strikes. Male Sydney funnel-webs have been known to produce fatalities thanks to its specialized venom that only affects primates. Due to the size of the spider's fangs, the funnel-web's bite is very painful, leaving puncture wounds and local bleeding. If bitten, it takes only minutes, depending on the size of the victim, before symptoms rapidly progress. Without treatment, a human can be dead within 15 minutes of being bitten. Funnel-web spider venom contains chemicals that attack the nervous system of humans and other primates. Oddly, it doesn't affect the nervous system of other mammals. An anti-venom was developed in the early 1980s, and since then, no human has died from the bite of a funnel-web spider. In the American Old West, pioneers told stories of great lizards with toxic breath and a deadly bite. These stories evolved from true events about the Gila monster, a venomous lizard. They are easily identified by their black bodies with patterns of pink, orange, or yellow. Gila monsters usually weigh up to 1.5 pounds, with the heaviest being recorded at 5 pounds. They move very slowly and grow up to 2 feet in length. Living in scrubland, succulent desert and oak woodlands, they take shelter in burrows, thickets and under rocks. They love water and are often observed immersing themselves in puddles after rain. "90% of a Gila monster's life is spent underground in their burrows or in rocky shelters. Their activity above ground depends on the seasons. In spring and in early summer, they emerge in the mornings, while later in summer, they prefer the warm nights. Coyotes and raptor birds are the predominant threats to Gila monsters. while they themselves prey upon the eggs of various animals, and sometimes small birds, mammals, reptiles, insects and carrion, as and when the opportunity presents itself. Even though it hunts a wide variety of creatures, the Gila monster eats very infrequently, only 5 to 10 times a year. For this reason, when it does feed, it will eat up to 1/3 of its own body mass. The Gila monster deploys its advanced armoury. Its sense of smell is so acute that it can locate and dig up eggs buried up to 6 inches deep in the ground. And even track a trail made by a rolling egg. Once the prey is located and caught, it's crushed to death in its mouth, or if small enough, eaten alive. But its hunt for food isn't restricted to the ground. Gila monsters can climb trees and cacti in their search for eggs. The Gila monster produces venom in saliva glands located in its lower jaw. They lack the muscular force to actually inject any venom. Instead, it's transferred from the gland to the teeth by chewing. This chewing action draws the venom from the gland to the tooth and into the victim. The Gila monster is one of the few venomous lizards in the world. Because Gila monsters usually prey on helpless creatures and eggs, it's believed their venom has evolved as a defense mechanism, along with their bright coloring, warning potential threats of their toxicity. The venom of the Gila monster contains neurotoxins. And even though it's as potent as that of a coral snake, the Gila monster produces only very small amounts. Though they move slowly, these lizards can bite very quickly, and once they latch on, can be very difficult to remove, causing the victim a great deal of pain. Aside from the creature's monstrous appearance, its armoury makes the Gila monster a formidable foe for those who share its desert habitat. There are thousands of species of ants, but only a small minority of these species have the ability to sting and inject a victim with venom. The most famous of these ants have been introduced to several countries around the world, where they are now considered dangerous pests. Easily recognized by their red color and painful sting, the fire ant is known by a variety of names, depending on where in the world they are. The fire ant is considered an invasive species. They are recognizable by their black, reddish bodies and their size, less than 1/4 of an inch. Mature fire ants look like any other ant, with bodies typical of any insect. This three-sectioned body includes the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, with 3 pairs of legs and a pair of antennae. Many species of ants bite, and formicine ants can even spray acid to irritate their victims. But fire ants have a dedicated alkaloid venom sting, as well as mandibles for biting. Within a large nest of fire ants, workers exist in a variety of sizes, which is rare among ants. A colony produces large mounds in open areas where they feed mostly on plants and seeds. But fire ants are also extremely aggressive and often attack small animals, killing them. Where other ants bite and then spray their acid on the wound, fire ants only bite to grip their victim and then sting them from the abdomen to inject the venom. It creates a painful sting that's likened to being burned, hence the name. The aggression of the fire ant usually pushes native ants out of the local habitat, leaving little to no competition for food in the area. Fire ants build their nests near rivers, ponds, and other areas with moist soil. The nests are often concealed underneath objects like rocks or logs. If there is no cover, dome-shaped mounds are created, reaching heights of 16 inches. A colony is usually founded by a small group of queen ants. But even if only one of them survive, it can quickly expand into thousands of ants. Queens, or the reproductive females in the colony, are usually the largest of the fire ants, with the sole purpose of reproducing. Males mate with the queens and die immediately after copulation. Other roles in the colony include the soldier ants, who have larger, stronger mandibles, and the workers, whose job it is to maintain the upkeep of the nest, foraging for food and caring for the eggs and the larvae. Phorid flies inject their eggs inside the fire ant's thorax. As the ant dies, the larvae will move into the ant's head and the adult fly will emerge. For thousands of years, human beings have used poison as a means to execute, assassinate, and murder their foes. The very idea of these attacks were learned from animals in the wild, who have continued to evolve and hone their use of venom in battle. The rattlesnake, that gives warning before biting a threat and injecting them with their lethal venom. The stonefish, a master of disguise that defends itself with venomous spines. The scorpion, whose tail contains a venomous stinger it uses to both hunt prey and defend itself. The blue-ringed octopus, while small, contains enough venom to kill 26 adult humans. The cane toad doesn't sting or bite. Instead, its skin is covered in a toxic substance that, when eaten by a predator, is lethal. The funnel web spider defends itself with aggressive attacks through multiple bites that deliver venom that can kill a man in under half an hour.
The Gila monster's venomous bite was made famous through stories told by cowboys in the Old West.
And fire ants completely dominate any landscape they establish a colony in, killing creatures much larger than them. Human beings have adapted to become the dominant force on the planet. But where we have evolved intellectually, animals continue to evolve physically, granting them the powerful weaponry found in the animal armoury.
Over millions of years, animals have adapted and evolved an arsenal of deadly weapons to hunt, defend, and attack. Teeth, claws, antlers, electricity, stings, camouflage, odor, and poisons are all being used to devastating effect in the animal armoury. In the frigid waters of the Arctic, the walrus depends on its surprising ability to spit in order to feed. For the cobra, its venomous projections are fired with intent to blind their predators. And for the jawfish, spitting provides them with a home and the means to defend it. When it comes to stings, individual bees will sacrifice themselves to attack a threat to their colony. Jellyfish trawl their stingers through the world's oceans to capture prey and ward off predators. In Australia, the humble Echidna is coated in a near impenetrable armour of spines. Stingrays, despite their infamy, reserve their deadly sting for self-defense. Whereas predatory centipedes deliver a paralyzing sting to immobilize their victims. A treacherous and ever-changing frozen landscape, the Arctic and its surrounding waters are among the most hostile environments on the planet. Few animals are equipped to survive in the Arctic's harsh climate, and fewer still can appear comfortable in this sub-zero world. But the rotund, easygoing walrus provides exception to the rule. Highly social animals, walruses are commonly found in massive herds, numbering in the tens of thousands. Between feeding and fighting, much of the walrus's time is spent lounging about in an environment where most animals would perish. Conserving energy as they rest, walruses are protected from the elements by a tough hide encasing an insulating layer of blubber up to 10 centimeters thick. Famed for their tusks, the walrus's elongated canines can reach a metre in length. A potentially fatal instrument in self-defense, the tusks are also relied upon during the breeding season, when males engage in fierce combat to establish social dominance. But the walrus has another unexpected weapon in its arsenal. One that is commonly used but rarely witnessed: spit. With adults weighing up to 2 tons, the walrus's tremendous bulk makes them slow and cumbersome on land. But in the water, the walrus suddenly becomes agile, and it is here that their secret weapon comes into play. Feeding primarily on mollusks, the walrus must consume about 5% of their body weight per day. This translates to between 3,000 and 6,000 clams in a single feeding session. Fossicking in the murky depths, walruses must locate and remove their stubborn food source from the sea floor, and they rely on spit to do so. Drawing large amounts of water into their uniquely vaulted mouths, walruses are able to fire a high-pressure jet stream at the otherwise inaccessible mollusks. Clearing out the surrounding debris, the walrus's spit reveals and loosens their food source, allowing for easy removal and consumption. And once the soft flesh has been devoured, the walrus simply spits out the remaining shells. As effective as their unique spitting technique is in feeding, it is often little protection against the Arctic's other predators. While healthy adult walruses are more than capable of defending themselves, polar bears will rush the herd on the beach, attacking any individual that is crushed or injured in the sudden exodus. Even in the water, they are not entirely safe, with killer whales known to target calves or otherwise unwary walruses from the depths. With their predators equally determined and well-equipped, the seemingly relaxed walrus must remain ever ready in the unforgiving Arctic. From the tropical forests and grasslands of Southeast Asia to the dry savanna and arid regions of southern Africa, the cobra strikes fear into all that cross its path. And this is by design. The name cobra is derived from Portuguese for hooded snake. there are over 20 species of true hooded cobras spread across 2 continents. And it is this intimidating appendage that lends this snake its fearsome reputation. But the cobra's hood hides a secret weakness in this seemingly indomitable animal. While non-venomous snakes, such as boas and pythons, will grab their prey and squeeze them to death, cobras rely on venom to kill. With relatively small fangs and a slender build, cobras are more vulnerable during these hunts than their bigger, more muscular counterparts. Needing to bite down and hold on to their prey in order to deploy their deadly venom against smaller animals, this aggressive technique poses little danger to the cobra. But against larger game, such as rats or even other snakes, if the cobra fails to disable their quarry immediately, they can easily be injured or killed in the ensuing struggle. This is where the fearsome hood comes into play. Rearing up to display its characteristic flattened neck, the cobra appears bigger than it actually is, effectively bluffing its way out of dangerous situations. It is the dramatic impact of this unique display that has made the species a favorite of snake charmers. But some cobra species have another, more dangerous weapon in their defensive arsenal. While all venomous snakes secrete venom from their fangs, spitting cobras have modified this trait to launch long-range assaults. By contracting the venom glands, spitting cobras squeeze small amounts of venom at high pressure through their fangs. Enlarged fang holes direct the venom upward and outward, the snake simultaneously flaying its head to widen the target area of the spray. Projecting over 2 meters with lightning speed, the venom combines neurotoxins and cytotoxins, allowing it to damage nerve tissue and shut down individual cells. If this deadly spray is inhaled or comes into contact with a cut, it can cause serious damage. But the real target is the eyes, with the cobra seeking to blind its attacker. Predated upon in the wild by birds of prey, rival snakes and mongooses, for spitting cobras, this vicious defensive mechanism can be a lifesaver. So instinctive is this ability that baby snakes are able to spit immediately after hatching, and some species have been reported to spit even after death. Found throughout the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, one species of fish has evolved its talent for spitting to be used in a variety of applications. Small and charismatic creatures, jawfish average just 10 centimeters in length. Occupying challenging terrain and ready to duck for cover at the slightest hint of danger, there are currently over 80 described species of jawfish, with more being discovered all the time. Exhibiting great variety in their appearance, they share the common attributes of enlarged heads, bulbous eyes, and cavernous mouths. The huge mouth of the jawfish is kept busy digging burrows. Spitting excavated material to one side, jawfish tunnel vertically into the sea floor in order to create cleverly engineered burrows. It is here they will spend the majority of their lives, safely ensconced from the ocean's myriad of predators. Scooping up mouthfuls of sand, pebbles, and coral rubble into its enlarged mouth chamber, the jawfish contracts its gills to force the debris back out again. Narrowing the mouth opening creates increased pressure, allowing the jawfish to fire targeted debris at unwelcome intruders. Unable to either outswim or fight off the many predators that target them, jawfish are extremely vulnerable in the open water. Rarely venturing far from their burrows, their remarkable mouths are their greatest asset in preparing and maintaining a ready escape route. When danger has passed by, a jawfish will cautiously check that the coast is clear before re-emerging from the safety of their burrows. While their spitting is not an effective deterrent to predators, it can be used against fellow jawfish. Investing so much of their energy into digging and fastidiously cleaning their burrows, it is no surprise that jawfish are highly territorial. And when a rival crosses the boundary, the resident jawfish will accurately spit gravel in a sign of aggression to ward the intruder away. But the jawfish's reliance on its mouth does not end with digging and spitting, with the males of the species also practicing mouth brooding. Carefully incubating their eggs while holding them in their mouths, the fathers-to-be will open wide to aerate their young, foregoing food themselves until the newborns are hatched. As the day draws to a close, the jawfish retires to the safety of its burrow. Covering and perfectly concealing the entrance, they may sleep safely within. When it comes to stings, for most there is one animal that comes immediately to mind. Perhaps the best-known member of the insect world, the bee. With close to 20,000 species and a distribution covering every continent except Antarctica, bees are a remarkably diverse group of insects. Not all bees make honey, and not all bees are able to sting. But for the many different varieties of honeybee, stinging is a vital defense mechanism in protecting this invaluable resource. As pollinating insects, bees are dependent on flowering plants for their survival, and vice versa. So while the bee's armoury is not to be dismissed, it is the mutually beneficial relationship with their food source that has assured their survival, with plants and bees co-evolving for tens of millions of years. With the bees travelling from flower to flower, they transmit pollen from one plant to another, allowing the plants to make seeds and reproduce. For the bees' part, the pollen they collect is stored in their hives, where it becomes honey to feed the colony. And it is in defending this hive where the bee's sting is most useful. A honeybee stings using a modified egg depositor called an ovipositor. Barbed at the end, when the stinger enters its victim, it lodges, enabling venom to be pumped from the venom sac. This process triggers the release of alarm pheromones from the bee, drawing other bees to join the fight. While capable of repeatedly stinging thin-skinned animals, when it comes to thicker-skinned mammals, such as humans, the honeybee's barb is lodged tight, tearing loose from its abdomen and causing its death. However, the relentless sting lives on, pumping venom until its sac is completely drained. For bees, their sting is often a last resort, with their astonishing abilities in the air generally able to get them out of trouble. While it is a common misconception that bee flight defies the laws of physics, their aerial mastery is certainly uncanny. Flapping their wings approximately 230 times per second, bees are capable of attaining speed, height, precise maneuverability, and carrying relatively heavy loads. But for all their advantages, bees know a great many predators in the wild. Among them, their close relative, the ant. Seizing individual bees while foraging or raiding hives for the energy-rich honey stored inside, ants pose a constant threat to many species of bee. Social insects, the inspiring teamwork of honeybees is evidenced in their intricately structured, highly organized hives. With clear division of labour, shared care for the young, and complex communication networks, a healthy beehive is a perfect picture of harmonious living. While their sting remains a dangerous weapon, the bees' greatest asset is their ability to cooperate. Throughout almost the entirety of the world's vast ocean network, one of the most successful carnivores is also one of the most unassuming: the jellyfish. From the cold, sunless depths to warm tropical waters, the jellyfish drifts silent and dangerous throughout almost every ocean on the planet and reaches into many of its freshwater systems. With over 200 species, jellyfish are made up of a gelatinous or jelly-like body which can pulsate to propel them through the water, trailing an array of tentacles behind. It is these tentacles that, in many species, provide both a potent form of self-defense and a powerful attack. Exhibiting a stripped-down anatomical design, jellies dispense with extravagances such as a stomach, intestines, or lungs, instead taking in nutrients and oxygen through their cells. And with the most basic nervous system of any multicellular animal, the jellyfish is built to simply kill, eat, and make more jellyfish, tasks it has proven highly successful at over millennia. With limited control over their movement, jellies are vulnerable to predation in the open water. However, the brutal stings of their tentacles afford great protection. And aside from sharks, sea turtles, and a handful of fish species, the most common jellyfish predator is other jellyfish. Trailing their deadly tentacles like dragnets, jellies practice a distinctively passive form of hunting, feeding on whatever drifts their way, be it fish, crustaceans, or plankton. Each jellyfish tentacle is packed with thousands of microscopic stinging threads called nematocysts. Triggered by touch, even lightly brushing against a jellyfish's tentacle builds pressure inside the nematocysts, causing them to uncoil. Millions of nematocysts fire into their victim, delivering paralyzing neurotoxic venom in less time than it takes to blink. Stinging is not the only weapon in the jelly's armory. Most jellyfish are transparent, making them almost invisible to both predators and prey within the water. But some species of jelly opt for the opposite tactic, employing bioluminescence to stand out, particularly in the dark ocean depths. The purpose of this mesmerizing chemical reaction is not fully understood, but it is understood to be a technique to startle and dissuade would-be predators. Pacific man-o'-war is not technically a jellyfish, but employs the same hunting tactic with a unique modification. Also known as the floating terror, this creature dangles its tentacles like fishing lines beneath a snail-shaped structure filled with gas, allowing it to hunt from the surface. An incredibly effective technique, it does place the man-o'-war at the mercy of the winds, which can see them swept ashore in their thousands. The oldest multi-organ animal on the planet, the jellyfish's simple design and deadly stinging tentacles have allowed it to hunt the ocean for over 500 million years, a legacy that is set to continue. Seeming to combine the anatomy of several different animals into one, the Echidna sports a blanket of porcupine-like spines that serve as its greatest defense asset. While far more timid than the dreaded snake woman of Greek mythology, after whom they were named, echidnas, like their namesake, combine the qualities of reptiles and mammals. Despite their superficial resemblance to anteaters and hedgehogs, echidnas are only one of two surviving members of the unique order of monotremes, or egg-laying mammals. Thus, the echidna's closest relative is another unlikely creature, the platypus. Found only in Australia and New Guinea, echidnas descend from an ancient aquatic ancestor and appear to have borrowed from a number of different animals as they evolved for life on the land. Sporting the elongated snout of an anteater, while female echidnas do lay eggs like reptiles, they also make use of a pouch similar to that of a kangaroo. But it is their dense coat of spiny armor that is their most distinctive acquisition, forming an overwhelming obstacle to their many predators. Targeted by snakes, monitor lizards, dingoes, and more, the echidna's spikes are designed to wound or even blind anything that attempts to bite them. Up to 5 centimeters in length, the echidna's spikes are composed of the same material as human fingernails. Coating almost their entire body, when threatened, the echidna digs its vulnerable underside into the earth with its powerful legs, presenting an impenetrable morass of needles to its attacker. With relatively poor eyesight, the bulk of the echidna's diet is nonetheless made up of tiny ants and termites. Hunting with their highly sensitive snouts, not only are echidnas equipped with an excellent sense of smell, they also boast an array of electro-sensors. Detecting the faint electrical signals from insect bodies, echidnas are unexpectedly skillful hunters of their prey. While their short legs account for their distinctive waddling gait, echidnas are strong-limbed animals, and employ their enlarged claws to dig out their food with tireless efficiency. And like a microscopic version of their hide, the echidna's long tongue is coated in tiny spines, making for an inescapably sticky appendage to slurp up their plentiful prey. Thanks in large part to their hardened hide, echidnas are able to live slow and long. Resistant to stress, echidnas have a slow metabolism, allowing them to make the most of their food. And with an average temperature of 32 degrees, echidnas have the lowest body temperature of any mammal. With remarkable longevity for their size, this mysterious armoured creature is rumoured to live almost half a century in the wild. Serene and graceful as they glide through the water, when threatened, the stingray packs a lethal punch. Most commonly found in the coastal shallows of temperate seas, there are about 200 species of stingray. A relative of the shark, stingrays exhibit a very different temperament. Preferring to keep a low profile, they spend much of their time blended almost seamlessly into the sea floor. But despite their tranquil nature, stingrays have become infamous for their potent weapon that trails behind them. Stingray tails carry up to 2 barbed stings, covering a thin sheath of skin where venom is concentrated. Whipping their tails, the sting punctures the attacker's body, tearing the sheath and allowing a potent cocktail of venom to enter the wound. Many stingray stings also feature serrated edges, meaning they cause massive tissue damage when retracted. With its venom remaining potent even after death, the stingray's sting is the stuff of legends, once believed capable of dissolving stone. And while the barbed spines of the tails have been used to fashion weapons such as daggers and spears, for the stingray, it is purely used in self-defense. Predated upon by sharks, seals, and large fish, the The stingray is more than capable of warding off or indeed killing any would-be attackers. But their deadly tails are not the stingray's only means of protection. Working their flattened bodies beneath the sand, stingrays employ a highly efficient form of camouflage. With eyes situated atop their heads, they can keep watch for danger and, if spotted, will raise their barbed tails in the manner of a scorpion, reminding any would-be predators of the threat they pose. With skeletons made of cartilage rather than bone, the stingray is able to propel itself through the water by the distinctive wave-like undulations of its body. While stingrays do hunt for fish, the bulk of their diet is made up of creatures that many other ocean predators are simply unable to find. Targeting clams, crustaceans, and other small animals hidden from sight, stingrays utilize electroreceptors to pick up on the faint electric fields they generate. Using this sixth sense, stingrays scour the sea floor like flying metal detectors, digging out their hidden quarry and crushing through protective shells with their powerful mouthparts. A uniquely designed creature, the stingray has swum the ocean for 100 million years and is well equipped to continue. The true embodiment of a creepy crawly, the centipede is armed with a unique pair of poisonous stingers to paralyze its prey. With an estimated 8,000 species found in various habitats all over the world, the hardy centipede is an incredible survivor. But vulnerable to dehydration, it is in the moist jungle environment where centipedes are at their most abundant and most intimidating. Reaching lengths of 30 centimeters, centipedes are encased in a tough exoskeleton comprised of varying numbers of body segments, each with its own pair of legs. With leg numbers ranging from 30 to over 350, despite their name, no centipede has exactly 100 legs. Regardless of their number, their multitude of limbs grants them speed, dexterity, and exceptional climbing capabilities. Despite having poor eyesight, centipedes are highly successful predators, seeking out their prey with their finely attuned antennae. Primarily feeling their way over all kinds of terrain, the antennae are sensitive to vibration and are coated in chemoreceptors, granting the centipede superior senses of motion tracking and smell. Known as poison claws, the centipede's head is equipped with a unique set of modified fangs called forcipules. Fed by venom glands, these pincer-like appendages bite down on the centipede's prey, applying an almost unshakable grip while they deliver their paralyzing toxin. Existing on an almost exclusively carnivorous diet, once the centipede's prey is immobilized by its venom, they are able to consume it. Using their mouth parts to tear small portions at a time, centipedes patiently ingest their victims piece by piece. Generalist predators, centipedes will take on almost anything within their size range, meaning the bigger the centipede, the bigger their quarry. Large specimens, such as the giant Amazonian centipede, are able to widen their diet to include small birds, rodents, and lizards. Wrapping itself around its victim, it waits for its paralyzing venom to take effect before beginning the grisly process of eating. Although the centipede is among the world's largest land-based invertebrate predators, it is not immune from becoming prey itself. Targeted by mice, snakes, and spiders, with sufficient numbers, even smaller creatures such as ants can overpower an imprudent centipede. Should the centipede find itself in the grip of a predator, it has an emergency escape mechanism, able to break off and sacrifice a few legs to make its getaway. While they may have legs to spare, centipedes also have the ability to regenerate lost limbs, allowing this resilient creature to crawl on and fight another day. Spitting high-pressure jets of water at mollusks grants the walrus access to its most valued food source. Delivering venom through its fangs when hunting, the cobra can also spit their poison over 2 meters in self-defense. And spitting is vital to the survival of jawfish, allowing them to create and protect their burrow fortresses. The bee's sting not only deters potential threats, but releases an attack pheromone, calling for backup in the fight. jellyfish's tentacles do not discriminate, automatically delivering their venom to anything they come in contact with. Echidnas are constantly protected by their densely packed needle-like armor. The power of the stingray's barbed tail and the potency of the venom is the stuff of legends. And the carnivorous centipede is granted access to a wide range of prey thanks to its paralyzing sting. Where we have evolved intellectually, animals continue to evolve physically, granting them the powerful weaponry found in the animal armory.
Over millions of years, animals have adapted and evolved an arsenal of deadly weapons to hunt, defend, and attack. Teeth, claws, antlers, electricity, stings, camouflage, odor, and poisons are all being used to devastating effect in the animal armory. Whether used in isolation or in combination, ejection and odor are potent instruments for luring and capturing prey. But that is just the beginning. In the animal armory, these remarkable abilities empower animals to use more diverse strategies, providing defense, deterrence, escape, and attraction. Throughout the ocean, cuttlefish evade their enemies by disappearing behind an ejection of ink. So repulsive is the skunk's odor that would-be predators have learned to avoid them almost altogether. Across the wide plains of the African savanna, the notorious hyena relies on odor to maintain cohesive packs. To survive in the inhospitable Arctic tundra, muskox employ their distinctive scent to mark trails and compete for mates. Tasmanian devils are well known for their foul odor, but are now understood to utilize smell in a more surprising way. Male koalas depend on their scent glands as a first line of defense, warding off rivals from climbing into their territory. Both ejection and odor are used to devastating effect by the innovative and predatory Bolas spider. And for the millipede, toxic odors are deployed in a form of chemical warfare, one that has the risk of backfiring. Among the most intelligent invertebrates on the planet, for the cuttlefish, even its ink ejections contain layers of complexity. Widely distributed throughout shallow temperate and tropical seas, the more than 120 species of cuttlefish are rarely obvious at first glance. But when they reveal themselves, they are seen to be creatures of remarkable diversity and even more remarkable abilities. Equipped with a bag of tricks and traps that would be the envy of most animals, perhaps their deadliest weapon is their intellect. With one of the largest brain-to-body ratios of all invertebrates, these judicious cephalopods know precisely which tool to use and when. Like their squid and octopus relatives, when cuttlefish are pursued by predators, they have a famous escape strategy. Releasing a cloud of ink, the threatened cuttlefish is briefly obscured from view, all the time it needs to make a speedy getaway. With the ink containing dopamine, it is thought to temporarily paralyze the sense of smell in predators that could otherwise hunt by scent. The underwater smoke screen is created by releasing ink from specialized sacs located between the gills. But the cuttlefish can also mix its ink with mucus to create smaller, denser clouds that approximate their shape and act as decoys. Confused predators mistakenly attack these decoys while the real cuttlefish darts away unscathed. Despite their odd appearance, cuttlefish are highly agile predators, feeding on crustaceans, octopuses, fish and other cuttlefish. While utilizing their mantle for jet propulsion, for the most part, cuttlefish rely on the short fin that surrounds their bodies. Resembling a bellowing skirt, this muscular fin provides maneuverability in almost any direction. Known as the chameleons of the sea, cuttlefish can alter their color as well as their texture to perfectly mimic their environment. So versatile is the cuttlefish skin that it can make flamboyant displays to scare off potential predators, or flash moving patterns to effectively mesmerize their prey. Often combining their inky ejections with their talent for camouflage and extreme maneuverability, within a split second, the cuttlefish can squirt a cloud of ink, change its color, and alter its direction, completely bamboozling pursuers. Well equipped to escape being preyed upon, cuttlefish also possess the tools to make aggressive predators. Opening their 8 arms and shooting out a pair of long, grabbing tentacles, they latch onto their victims with powerful sucker pads before pulling them into their beaks and paralyzing them with venom. The cuttlefish's unique cuttlebone is not actually a bone, but a porous internal shell. Providing an energy-efficient method for controlling their buoyancy, cuttlefish can adjust the levels of gas and water in the chambers of this shell in order to set their position in the water column. During mating cycles, the gathered males fight to win breeding rights with females. With the victor jealously standing guard over their prize, subordinate males can disguise themselves as females in order to sneak past the guard and gain access to the supposedly protected female. Research indicates that cuttlefish eyes are fully developed prior to birth, enabling baby cuttlefish to observe their surroundings while still in the egg. Upon hatching, it is speculated that the clever cuttlefish will excel in hunting those species it studied before emerging, giving newborn cuttlefish one more advantage in their already impressive armoury. When it comes to ejections and odours, there is one animal whose reputation precedes them: the skunk. The skunk family includes 10 different species, and except for the 2 varieties of Asian stink badgers, all are found in the Americas, ranging across a variety of wooded and grassland habitats from Canada to South America. With each species displaying its own variation of patterns, most skunks feature a bold and distinctive black and white coloration. Seeking to stand out rather than blend in, the skunk advertises its pungent potential as an early warning system to predators. Following the changes in season across their wide range, skunks exhibit an equally wide diet. As omnivores, they consume both plant and animal matter and are able to adapt to feed on whatever is available. Despite poor vision limiting their view to just 3 meters, they more than compensate with heightened senses of hearing and smell, and are almost always able to find a meal. Thanks to their potent, weaponized odor, predators have learnt to give skunks a wide berth. When little other food is available, canine species such as wolves or foxes may risk taking on a skunk, but such attacks are rare. The only regular danger to skunks is the great horned owl, which is capable of swooping in with such stealth that they can dispatch the unsuspecting skunk before it can discharge its heinous aroma. With a pair of highly developed scent glands on either side of their anus, skunks produce an oily liquid made up of chemicals known as thiols. Turning away from their threat, muscles around the skunk's scent glands contract to project their nauseating thiol spray with great accuracy to a range of 3 meters. The stinking mist of the skunk's scent bomb is so foul that even the relatively insensitive human nose can detect it from over a kilometer away. And because thiols are a volatile chemical compound, they decompose slowly, lingering on any surface they touch for days. Defying attempts at removal, this chemical mixture is so powerful that it can cause skin irritation and even temporary blindness. Carrying enough of the rank liquid for approximately 5 doses, it can take 10 days to produce another supply, leaving the skunk defenseless in the meantime. In an effort to ward aggressors away, skunks will engage in elaborate threat displays, giving their victim every chance to back down before firing their spray as a last resort. Mothers are more trigger-happy with their spray. With male skunks playing no role in parenting, it is down to the females to protect their young. Firing at the slightest sign of danger, mother skunks are fierce guardians, ensuring the next generation can grow to carry on the potent legacy of their species. For Africa's most common large carnivore, the hyena, odor is an indispensable tool of their trade. Ranging across continental Africa, there are 4 distinctive species of hyena, the largest and most prominent of which is the spotted hyena. Frequently perceived as cowardly or lowly animals, spotted hyenas are lumped in with the scavengers of the savannah. And while they are not shy about opportunistically feeding on carrion, spotted hyenas are actually highly skilled hunters, obtaining the vast majority of their meat from their own kills. Their use of odor, while not yet fully understood, is an important component of their collaborative success. Also known as the laughing hyena for their eerie vocalizations, spotted hyenas are not only the most social of the hyenid family, but the most social of all carnivores. With large group sizes and complex female-led social hierarchies, these collective killers depend on precise communication for their success. More effective than language, it is their odors that do the talking. Instead of urination, hyenas deposit a strong-smelling paste-like secretion on grass stalks throughout their range. Beyond simply marking territorial boundaries, individual hyenas use these deposits to communicate key information, including their sex, family group, and reproductive status. Fed by anal and sebaceous glands, a large patch of naked skin beneath the hyena's tail produces a pungent paste. Carrying bacterial and chemical signatures unique to the individual hyena, the paste is used for communication and territorial marking, with some hyena species able to spray their secretions to dismay would-be attackers. Despite their heavy, bear-like builds, spotted hyenas are adept runners and can reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers an hour. Working seamlessly as a team, groups of spotted hyena will engage in prolonged endurance chases, wearing their quarry down over vast distances. Renowned for their strong bite, hyenas attack with their teeth rather than their paws, and together can devour an entire kill, bones and all, in under half an hour. Capable of planning ahead, spotted hyenas may also elect to store food for later consumption. Competing with lions and other big cats, hyenas will seek to drive them off their kills, hoping to claim the meat for themselves. Frequently fighting over the same territories and hunting the same prey, hyenas actively attempt to kill off the young of their enemies. For the same reason, hyena cubs are vulnerable to attacks from big cats and are closely guarded by their mothers. Primarily nocturnal creatures, hyenas are most active at night, where their attuned eyesight is aided by their superior sense of smell. A source of fear among many traditional cultures, Arab folklore tells of hyenas having the power to mesmerize victims with their pheromones. Given the significance of odor to the hyena, there may be something to the legend. The Arctic, a harsh, unforgiving landscape characterized by its cool, fleeting summers and notorious for its seamlessly endless frozen winters. Here, it takes grit and resourcefulness to survive. Attributes the imposing muskox has in spades. And as their name suggests, odor is a significant factor in their subsistence. Occupying primary ranges across the Canadian Arctic and Greenland, no other hooved animal lives as far north as the muskox. More closely related to sheep and goats than oxen, they are nonetheless built to withstand the challenges of their frigid landscape. Most obvious in their armoury is their trademark outer coat of long, shaggy guard hair, providing the muskox protection from the elements year-round. A shorter undercoat is grown seasonally for added insulation during winter, while still tipping the scales at around 300 kilograms. So dense is the musk ox's coat that it conceals a somewhat slender build underneath. Living in small herds, the collective mentality of the musk ox provides perhaps their most important advantage in the Arctic, and scent is a vital part of herd living. Using pre-orbital glands around their eyes, musk ox leave odor markers along their trails, allowing herd members to locate one another when visual contact is lost. Odor plays a very different role during the fierce male dominance contests of the breeding season. Located around the genitals, the male's preputial glands produce the rank-smelling pheromone from which the musk ox takes its name. Using their urine to distribute the scent over their abdominal fur, the bull simultaneously marks his territory against rival males and advertises his potency to females. While the bulls are the aggressors during the breeding season, for the most part, it is the cows that lead the herd. Depending on their fat reserves to successfully gestate their young and to see them through the scarce winter months, it is essential that female musk ox make the most of feeding opportunities while they last. Constantly on the move, the cows decide where the herd travels, favouring the nutritious plants and grasses of the wet lowland areas. They bolster their fat reserves for the bleak months ahead. When the merciless winter sets in, the herds migrate to higher ground. Here, the strong winds that rake the exposed terrain prevent snow from settling too deeply, and the musk ox can use their enlarged, powerful hooves to uncover the roots and lichen that will sustain them throughout this most brutal season. The odd squabble aside, the herds are less active during this period, conserving energy and maintaining a collective vigil for danger. Thanks to their size and dangerous curved horns, the musk ox has few predators to contend with in the Arctic. While polar bears may loom large, Arctic wolves are the primary concern, thought to account for up to half of all musk ox fatalities. But a tight-knit herd, linked together in great part by their use of odor, will draw ranks in order to protect their most vulnerable members and see them through to another summer. Within the animal armoury, the multiple applications of ejection and odour have more than proven their worth. We have seen the intelligent predatory cuttlefish use ejection to escape predators of its own. Skunks have weaponized their overpowering odours, ejecting them to a range of 3 meters. More hunter than scavenger, the spotted hyena is a communal carnivore, relying on scent to maintain order within the pack. Musk ox bulls use their heady aromas to advertise their virility to females and announce challenges to rival males. Now we will see how odour has deepened our understanding of fearsome Tasmanian devils, revealing their softer side. Koalas, on the other hand, use odour in a more hostile manner, warning away unwanted intruders. Bolas spiders employ their copycat pheromones to draw unsuspecting victims into their unique glue-like ejections. And the millipede's caustic secretions not only have an unappetizing aroma, but can burn unwary predators. So named for their vicious temperament, foul-smelling and unearthly screeches, the true nature of the Tasmanian devil is only recently becoming understood, and odour plays a key role in their surprisingly complex behaviour. Found only on Australia's isolated island state of Tasmania, Tasmanian devils are marsupial mammals, meaning they carry their young in a pouch. Despite being the size of a small dog, they are the largest marsupial carnivores on Earth. Often heralded by a distinctively fetid smell, these diminutive predators are widely feared for their ferocity and impressive strength. The Tassie devil's famous gape puts its imposing array of teeth on full display. Far from a welcoming gesture, it is not the aggressive performance it appears to be, instead communicating fear on the part of the devil. Another sign of a stressed devil is their smell. Emitting an offensive odor when threatened, early European settlers took this to be the devil's natural aroma, when in fact a calm and relaxed Tasmanian devil is not smelly at all. Unless feeding, Tassie devils are generally seen as solitary creatures, but this too is a misconception. In fact, vast and complex networks of devils occupy expansive home ranges spread across thousands of acres. With a highly attuned sense of smell, the devils rely on scent to communicate their comings and goings, minimizing conflict with their shared territories as each devil maintains their own personal space. Specialized anal scent glands produce an oily liquid serving as each devil's unique scent signature. Marking or signing their trails with their scent, networks of devils maintain a constant awareness of each other's movements and well-being without direct contact. While more multifaceted than their rancorous reputation gives them credit for, the Tasmanian devil remains an unruly beast. Feeding provides a rare opportunity for face-to-face interaction. But while it is a social affair, it is hardly sociable. Emitting horrendous cries heard from kilometers away, other devils within the range are called in to enjoy the feast. But an invitation is no cause for politeness, and excited squabbling is common during the meal, with adult males being the most frequent aggressors. Faster than their stocky build suggests, Tasmanian devils are capable hunters, taking down prey much greater in size than they are. However, carrion and roadkill make for easier meals, and scavenging provides the majority of their diet. Their enlarged heads generate one of the most proportionately powerful bites in the animal kingdom. With sufficient force to sever thick metal wire, chewing through bone is an easy task for a Tasmanian devil, and they can devour all trace of a corpse with ease. With no predators on their island home, the devils have no need for a quick getaway and will gorge themselves when the opportunity arises, consuming up to 40% of their own body weight within half an hour. Despite a lack of predators, Tassie devils face a range of threats in the wild, and their population is in decline. Their usage of odour is helping shed light on previously unrecognised behaviours. And now that they find themselves on the endangered list, it seems these misunderstood marsupials require sympathy for the devil. Living among the trees and surviving on a diet poisonous to most other animals, the koala is an Australian anomaly with a host of unique adaptations. Found throughout eastern Australia's wooded coastal areas, the iconic koala bear is not a bear at all, but a marsupial, or pouched mammal. Equipped to scale eucalyptus trees and eke out a living from their highly toxic and nutritionally poor leaves, they are armed with the tools to successfully exploit a niche in their environment. While not immediately apparent, odour is significant among these tools. Facing little competition over their preferred food source, for the simple reason that it would kill other animals, the koala's specialised digestive system creates a bacteria to neutralise the eucalyptus poison, while an elongated gut breaks down the tough leaves. Scent also plays an important role, with the koala's highly sensitive nose detecting fluctuations in toxicity among the leaves. It is ensured that they do not bite off more than they can safely chew. With a metabolic rate half that of a typical mammal's, it is vital that koalas conserve their limited energy resources. To resolve this problem, the solution is simple: sleep, and lots of it. Safe from predators on the ground, koalas in their aerial perches have the remarkable ability to slumber up to 22 hours a day. During their waking hours, koalas are surprisingly mobile. Needing to eat around 1 kilogram of leaves a day, they must change trees frequently and are often forced to cover considerable distance on the ground when an area's resources become depleted. Vulnerable to predators such as dingoes, these forays on terra firma are highly dangerous for koalas and are generally kept to a minimum. But adult males can be driven to riskier journeys when searching for a mate. With the scent glands exposed through hairless patches on their chests, male koalas produce a secretion containing a complex chemical mixture of over 40 compounds. Depositing this odour around the tree trunk as he climbs, the male simultaneously stakes his claim to the tree whilst advertising his presence to any females in the area. Despite a cuddly appearance, koalas are asocial creatures, and for the most part, the only two koalas that tolerate each other are mothers and their babies. With poor eyesight, Odor marking provides an unmissable warning sign for this assertively solitary species, keeping physical disputes to a minimum and thus preserving their limited energy. Coated in the most insulated fur of any marsupial, koalas are effectively shielded against the extremes of the Australian climate. While the white fur on their bellies can reflect solar radiation during heat waves, they are also highly resistant to wind and rain. When the cold does set in, koalas will curl into tight balls in order to stay warm and conserve energy. Eating an otherwise toxic food source has its advantages. Consuming such volumes of eucalyptus leaves, koalas have taken on a distinctive odor from their oil, similar to that of cough drops. Thus, they are afforded a natural insect repellent and are rarely affected by external parasites. And because the leaves have a high water content, koalas rarely need to drink, avoiding dangerous trips to the ground unless it is absolutely necessary. Nocturnal animals, much of the koala's life is hidden from sight. With their proclivity for sleep and a cute teddy bear facade, the hardship of the koala's existence and their adaptations to meet their challenges are easy to overlook. But in the animal armoury, looks are deceiving. And just as their use of odour remains widely unrecognised, the koala's cuteness belies the rugged survivor beneath. Throughout a range of wooded habitats across Africa, America and Australasia is to be found over 60 species of tiny spider employing an ingenious combination of odour and ejection. So effective is the Bolas spider's deceptive techniques for luring and capturing their prey that they don't even need a web. Nocturnal creatures, each species of Bolas spider is dedicated to hunting its own particular species of moth. Beginning by building a horizontal trapeze line, the cunning spider will hang motionless while emitting an odour that perfectly matches the sex pheromone of the moth they feed on. Dangling their bolus, a sticky capture blob of silk, they await the arrival of their unsuspecting prey. Also known as angling spiders for their resemblance to fishermen, when the approaching wing beats of a moth are detected, they swing their line and effectively hook their meal. Known as aggressive chemical mimicry, the Bolas spider emits a cocktail of chemicals to simulate the sex pheromones of their desired species of moth. The bolus itself is a complex structure consisting of flexible protein fibers and dual-layered viscous droplets to form an adhesive ball. Once ensnared, the helpless moth is reeled in and dispatched with a venomous bite. Quickly binding their prey in swathes of silk, the meal is strung up for later consumption, allowing the spider to return to the hunt. Altering the false pheromones that they emit over the course of the night, these exceptional spiders precisely adjust their alluring odor in order to maximize their catch. Descended from one of the first animals to breathe air, millipedes carry on an ancient lineage, with odor forming the cornerstone of an armoury that has withstood the test of time. Occupying almost all terrestrial habitats, millipedes are extremely resilient and resourceful invertebrates. While the name of these armour-plated creepy crawlies derives from the Latin for 1,000 feet, no known millipede actually has this many legs. Exhibiting a wide variety of shapes and sizes, millipedes are distinguished by carrying 2 pairs of legs per body segment. But that's not all their bodies carry, with many species equipped with stink glands running the length of their flanks. A robust and diverse species, there are approximately 12,000 types of millipede, each with a unique set of tools and skills to thrive within their given environment. With a preference for the moist conditions of the forest undergrowth, many millipede species do just as well on the dry desert sands. The first animals to colonize the land, the fossil record shows that millipedes emerged from the water and adapted to breathe air over 400 million years ago, a significant head start in evolving their odorous defenses. Millipedes are primarily detritivores, consuming dead plant matter such as decaying leaves. A clever dietary adaptation, it provides an abundant food source in most habitats and means that millipedes serve an important role in aiding decomposition within their ecosystems. But moving slowly through the undergrowth, their diet places millipedes at risk of predation, and they rely heavily on their stinky emissions for protection. Lacking pincers for fighting, millipedes do not possess a sting, and their bite is good for little more than munching on leaf litter. Opting for neither flight nor fight, most threatened millipedes will curl into a ball, protecting their soft belly with their hardened exoskeleton. This defensive posture can be held until the attacker loses interest, persuaded in no small measure by the millipede's off-putting and even poisonous secretions. Microscopic stink glands, known as ozophores, run along the sides of the millipede's body. Releasing a mixture of irritants and toxic chemicals, the ozophores' secretions not only emit foul-smelling and tasting odors, but can burn the exoskeletons of insects, as well as the eyes and skin of larger predators. As effective as the millipede's hazardous ejections may be, they are not foolproof. Crafty predators such as meerkats have learned to flip millipedes around in order to remove their defensive discharge before eating them. And in some cases, the millipede's chemical warfare has completely backfired, with primates deliberately antagonizing the poor creatures before using their secretions as insect repellent. Despite their odorous defenses having an Achilles heel, the indomitable millipede has more legs to stand on and continues to maintain a stronghold in its vast and diverse territories around the world. The crafty cuttlefish utilizes a range of tactics to hunt in the ocean, its inky ejections keeping it safe when the tables are turned. Combining ejection and odor, the skunk can fire its sickening stink with practiced precision. More than the scavengers they are made out to be, hyenas employ odor as a means of communication in their complex societies. Musk ox endure the unforgiving Arctic, using scent to establish breeding rights and to mark the way for the herd. For the ferocious Tasmanian devil, odor has only recently been revealed to maintain their secretive societies. More aggressive than they appear, male koalas intimidate rivals by marking their territories with secretions from their chests. An aromatic arachnid, the Bolas spider lures prey by mimicking their pheromones before ensnaring them with a unique ejection. And the ancient millipede deters and even injures would-be predators with a noxious discharge. Where we have evolved intellectually, animals keep adapting physically, granting them the powerful weaponry found in the animal armory.